Before we get started, I like to tell you what we are going to achieve in this video. We are going to make a TrueNAS server using an old PC for my video editing needs. The benefit of this server is that I will get the redundancy if one of the drive fails, and also I can open the project from any computer because it's a shared folder. The disclaimer I like to give before we start the video is that I'm not an expert in the networking or any of the hardware. I'm just doing it as a hobby. This video shows my personal hobby project with TrueNAS. I'm not an expert and this is not a step-by-step tutorial. If you choose to follow anything shown here, you do so at your own risk. I'm not responsible for your any data loss or damage or any issue that occur. Use this video for inspiration, not as a professional guidance. I had also followed this video. You can also refer this video. The link will be in the description. So here are the components I'm using for this build. I have bought the new motherboard combo which comes with CPU and RAM, and we are using it for the older case because the motherboard was dead. We are going to use 3 hard drives for the storage, 250GB SSD, 1TB hard drive and 750GB hard drive. I have also bought the 10GB network card with the direct attach cable. For the networking, we are going to use this switch with some LAN cables to connect all 3 computers. We have 3 editing workstation at this moment, so we will connect this with LAN cables. Also for the boot drive for the TrueNAS, we will use these 2 pen drives. So let's start with the build. This is a network card and this is the motherboard. Let's unbox it. So this is how it looks. It's a 10GB network interface, comes with SFP plus port. It comes with a manual and this is how it looks. It has a heatsink for its IC. It has a PCI X8 slot and this is how its back looks like. So let's unbox the motherboard. This is how it's packaged. The things you will get in the motherboard will be like main motherboard, the faceplate, some SATA cables and the main board, which will have a pre-installed RAM because it's a combo motherboard. Some seller does this, some seller doesn't, so it's varies. So this is the front of the motherboard. As you can see, there is the audio jack, 1 gig Ethernet, 6 2.0 USB ports, 1 VGA port and the HDMI port. Here you can see the M.2 port and this is how the back looks like. Also in the box you will get a manual. So this is the cabinet I have bought earlier. It's almost like 9 months or a year I have bought this but didn't use it. That's why it looks so dusty. The advantages of this cabinet is it's full ATX cabinet, comes with 7 fans and it can carry up to 12 hard drives. So this is my older PC. I will dismantle all the parts and transfer it into the new cabinet because this cabinet not even able to carry 2 hard drives at the same time. Here is the 4GB RAM which is DDR3 and the another RAM is 2GB RAM. One more thing about this PC is that the motherboard is already dead. That's why I have bought the new motherboard. First I will test the new motherboard. Here I am connecting the 24 pin connector and the CPU power connector. This is the CPU power connector. So now I am connecting the USB device which has a MediCat installer which will help me to boot into the live Windows system directly without installing anything into the storage. Now I am connecting the VGA cable and all the necessary power cables. Now let's connect the keyboard and mouse. All the cables are connected. Now let's power it on. And here we go. I forgot to connect the power button to the motherboard. So let's connect it. But I didn't know the exact pin out, so I have checked into the manual. So now the power button is connected. Let's power it on. As you can see, the fan is spinning, so I think it's okay. So as you can see, we have booted into the MediCat and I have tried to boot into the Windows but it didn't work. When I bought the motherboard, it had come with the 4GB RAM. I have connected another 4GB RAM which has already into the previous system. I have tried to do the RAM test, so it seems fine. I have decided to go further when we shift all the components into the new cabinet. So I have removed the power supply. Now I have opened the newer cabinet Again, it's a very dusty cabinet because it's not in use. So I tried to fit the power supply, but the cabinet has the full ATX cutout, but the power supply I had is a small form factor power supply, but somehow I was able to screw it in. Here is the pouch in which you can find the screws for the motherboard, which has come with the cabinet, and one Allen key also. So this is the close-up of the cabinet. Here you can find the 12 hard drives slots, and here you can find the 7 fans which has a metal grill on both sides. So let's start with the motherboard. First we will take the faceplate of the motherboard and try to fit it in. Then we took the motherboard and aligned the screw and screw it in. Then I looked at the power button cable, which has 4 pins instead of 2, and then I realized that it has 4 wires. 2 of them are positive and other 2 are negative. So I removed one wire from it, so it will be fit right into the motherboard. Now I realized that the ATX power pin is not able to connect to the motherboard because of the length. So I removed the power supply from the cabinet and tried to plug it in. Then I also realized that power supply doesn't have enough SATA pins, so I have scrapped the idea to use this case. I will use this case in the future when we will have a good power supply. Right now I am stuck with the budget issues, so I have removed all the components and started using the older case. First I will remove the motherboards. For that I will have to unscrew all the screws and remove all the cables, because I said earlier that it was the dead motherboard. That's why I bought the new motherboard. I will put back the power supply back into the case and install the new motherboards. Now I forgot to remove the faceplate from the newer case, so I have removed the plate and I have placed the motherboard into the case and connected all the SATA cables and power cables into the motherboard. Also took some notes from the manual. After when we connected all the cables, it's time to get the 250 GB hard drive from my personal editing machine. So I removed the screw from that and took out the 250 GB SSD, which I will use for the editing work. So here is that Samsung 250 GB SSD. Now I will pack the case back. Now I will need some SATA cables to connect this SSD to new motherboard. So I will search into the older motherboard boxes to find some SATA cables. So I have found 3 SATA cables. So let's pack this up and let's start working on the machine. So here you can see I have connected the SSD. First I tried to boot into the live Windows system using a Medicat USB. Then I realized that it was not possible to do it. Then I started installing the Windows into the SSD. Here is how I am doing the Windows installation, setting up some settings from the Windows, and here we go. Then I started working on the network card. So I have not tested the network card till moment. So I realized that the network card has some weird issue with the heatsink. The heatsink is misplaced and wobbling. Then I realized that the issue was the spacer inside the heatsink. Also this case is a very small form factor case, so I replaced the front panel of the network card. Here is how I placed the card into the system. Now I started the system to check the card. Now I logged into the Windows and into the device manager. It was not showing properly because of the driver issues. So I shut it down and packed the case. But here you can see I accidentally started the PC again because it has some problem with the button on the case. So I tried to remove the panel and this is how it looks like. I tried to do some troubleshooting, but I am not able to do it properly. So I scrapped the idea to use this button and packed this case back in. After packing it, I tried to boot it into the system, so I'm sure that nothing is broken. Then I tried to set the PC on the right place. I have properly set the computer cabinet and the monitor and all the wires. I always like to have a back of the PC in front of me because I can access the I/O of the motherboard easily. That's why the front button is on the back side, Now again I have powered on the system and connected the keyboard and mouse. So let's boot it into the Windows and install all the drivers for the network card. For that I needed a LAN cable to connect with the internet. So I have bought this LAN cable, a 5-meter LAN cable, which cost me around 300. I connected the LAN cable into the motherboard and then another end into the switch. So I just adjusted some cables. So I first checked the device manager, where I can see the hardware is not recognized because of the wrong driver. So I go into the website of the IOBit and downloaded the free driver software. Benefit of this driver software is one-click installation. Once you click on the install button, it will check all the outdated drivers and install it for you. Then I started installing the drivers and wait for the downloads. Then I continuously checked the device manager and it restarted. Then after restart, it was detected into the device manager, but I don't have the cable at this moment to test the network card because the cable was in the procurement and hasn't delivered it. So I just packed the things up, called it for the day. I mean, I love the cleaning up time lapses, so here is one for you. Because of the lot of things I have laying around, that's why it created lot of dust. So I have packed the boxes and set it up on the top of the working area. I have done the Windows installation because to test the network card. My original plan was to use the TrueNAS for my editing work. For that I have a spare hard drive to use it as a storage device. That's why I open up the computer to check the hard drive. Previously I was using this hard drive, but from the past few months it was sitting on the shelf from 4 months. I have doubt that it will work or not. That's why I have first tried to check the hard drives. But as expected, none of the hard drive is showing up in the Windows system. So I have to do lot of troubleshooting and check the hard drive one after another. But none of it worked. So I have booted into my USB to install the TrueNAS into my another USB device. After the installation, I have logged in into the TrueNAS interface using the right credentials. After logging, this is how the interface looks like. It will show your primary information like CPU and memory consumptions on the screen. Also, you will see the IP address of the system. Here you can see two of the devices. One is the USB device which will have the OS and another one is the 250 GB SSD. In the reporting section, you can see the detailed report of the resource consumptions. Here you can manage the users. You can also run some apps like you run on the Docker, and also it will have the Docker container feature which you can use to host the app on top of the TrueNAS. So first I will set the time zone and format of the date and time. So I referred this video. You can find the link of the video in the bottom of the description. And here you can see the two network interfaces. One is the 1 GB and another one is the 10 GB. Now I am setting up the email notifications. So if my server has some problem, it will mail me and I will get notified. For this, I will log into the system using my mail. After that, when I try to send the mail, it will give me the error because the primary email address to receive the mail is not set, because the primary user doesn't have the email address. So I will go into the user section and add the email address for any of the given administrator like this. Now I will try again to send the mail, and as you can see, it's loading and the mail has been sent and received on my end. Now I have manually shut down the system and the device will go offline. In Windows, the drive was not showing, so I tried again with the TrueNAS. So let's see if it's get detected. On my main system, I have logged into the TrueNAS system, and as you can see, the 1 TB hard drive is get detected. So again I shut down the system and tried with the another hard drive. So I am replacing the hard drive and started the system, but as you can see, it's still loading, and on the log section you can see the errors. It was not able to properly boot. So I consider that the 750 GB hard drive is dead, so I will work on that later. So I removed the hard drive and placed back the 1 TB hard drive into the system and selected the main boot device as a Windows, so I can transfer the old data from the 1 TB hard drive to my personal computer. So I started Windows file sharing, and here is the data. So I have copied all the data from the 1 TB hard drive to my personal computer over the network. So in short, here is how the setup looks like. This is the server PC connected to the switch, and then switch is connected to the personal PC, and this is the personal computer. The data is transferring at this moment. The speed is quite low, like around jumping from 4 MB to 100 MB depending on the type of the data. Now I have received the SFP plus cable. Here is how it looks like. You will find all the links in the description if you want. The packaging was minimal, and I am first time seeing this type of cable. I have never worked with the SFP type modules. At this moment, the data is still transferring from one system to the another. Again, I have realized that because of the power saving modes, it was giving me the error again and again. So I have to try again many times to get the data back up properly. After the backup, I have rebooted into the TrueNAS system. Now I was sure everything will work fine, so I have started assembling the system and securing the hard drive at the right place, and then packed the computer. I have placed the computer similarly like we did earlier. Then I am connecting the SFP plus cable to the network switch and the network card. One end into the network card in my server and another end into the network switch. Now I am arranging some wires and started the server. After when a server started, I started cleaning up the place, and if you are interested into the what setting I did into the TrueNAS, then you can refer the video I referred earlier to you, or comment down if you want exactly what I did. My editor started using the server, and here is the resource usage looks like. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, then comment down. I will make video on that also. Thank you.